been always interested in technology and also its impact to solve complex problems. As I learn more about the machine learning, signal processing, and computer vision, I realized that they can have very positive effect on enhancing quality of life and also solve fundamental problems that society have in healthcare, finances, and also environmental sciences. I started researching computer vision when I started my job at Northeastern around 6 years ago, and that allowed me to start teaching computer to see and analyze. My area of research and focus is mainly on understanding, predicting, and estimating human behavior from visual data that we are collecting from them. I'm sure a lot of you have heard about the advancement that's happening right now in the field of artificial intelligence. So for me, the things that makes me wake up excited every day is how we can use these new advancements, especially in generative models, to make models that can learn from visual data, videos that is collected from human, and then help human to solve some of the help humans, which include researchers, physicians, psychologists, to solve some of the problem that is very hard and is very costly. It could be very manual, related to the healthcare. One of this problem that is very exciting, that I believe is very exciting, and I hope that we can make an impact, is how we can monitor infants early on in the crib or the natural environment and use these monitoring and apply our advanced AI algorithm on them to understand if there is something wrong, if they are missing some milestone, if we can actually predict early sign of some of the neurodevelopmental disorders, such as autism spectrum disorder, such as torticollis, such as cerebral palsy. So this is something that gives me energy to every day wake up early and start looking and training this machine learning model to help us to discover this very important problem. I work in the area of computer vision and machine learning. And if I want to put that in simple words, in machine learning field, we try to teach machine to learn from data. In computer vision, this data source is images, videos, or anything on the visual, multimodal visual sense. So what I do, I try to teach computer to find human in the scene that we are recording, look at their pose, posture, action, activity, and then start making sense of those specific behavior that humans are doing. This means that then I have to collaborate with the expert in the field, which could be a psychologist or a behavioral scientist or a physician, and then tell them, okay, is this a specific behavior? Is it normal, abnormal? Can we use them as a prediction for some, or as an early sign of some developmental disorder that may happen? Is it possible that this kid that is crawling this way can show some sort of sign of motor function impairment in the future? So yes, I'm trying to teach computer to help human to solve some of these problems that you could imagine that could be very costly if we look at the video. Somebody sits, especially specialists in the field, sits and look at them and start to manually annotate them and say that, oh, what's happening. So we want computer to help us on that sense, and I'm trying to teach them to do so. I'm sure a lot of you are hearing about all of the news that is coming out. I don't call them hype because these things are actually happening out there. You are hearing about the generative AI, ChatGPT, GPT-4, these specific terminology, and some of you even already started using them. So my advice to you is, first of all, follow the news and don't stay on just the the surface of the news, understand what these models are doing. A lot of these models actually have an undergrad as part of the development team as well. So understand what is the model behind these specific technologies that is out there. Ask questions. Also, start working on your programming language skills. Remember, these are computers that we are generating the model and generating specific app for. So we need to know how to communicate with them. So to know how to communicate with them, we need to know their language. So from any time, I mean, you are in the middle school, high school, early undergrad, start to advance your programming language skills. You need to know at least 2 programming languages, so then you understand different aspects of the how to interact with computers. And one last thing, which can be even more important than other pieces that I told you, is make sure if you want to be part of specifically AI innovation, you know your math. These are all algorithmic pieces that they're putting together, but all behind them is they have a very strong mathematical background. So understand your math and work on that, and don't be afraid of that. The math is the language of, it's not only computer, it's the language of the world. So you have to know that, so spend enough time on that. As I mentioned, I am an AI researcher with a specialty in computer vision. However, I have noticed that a lot of these computer vision techniques, which are at the moment they are very advanced, they are applied on adult population. So what I wanted to do, I wanted to bring some of these advancements in understanding, predicting, and estimating infant behaviors. But the problem was when I started applying this model that other groups that have been training and teaching them how to understand adult behavior, when they were applied on infants, it didn't work. The problem comes from this specific concept called domain gap. So the adults, the way that they are moving, the way they pose, the way they're bone to muscle ratio is very different than infants. So the model that it has seen a lot of adult movement is not going to work when it's applied on infant that they're trying to roll over. So my lab started to solve this problem, which is actually an example, a good example of a small data problem. So we started addressing this small data problem in the context of infant behavior monitoring. So the inspiration behind that can be bring the AI advancement into the life of infant and help the society, the parents, the physician, the pediatrician to understand their infant behavior early on from the crib. The reason I chose this specific topic, bringing AI to the infant domain, has twofold. First of all, I'm always interested in bringing AI to the field that it's very hard to bring AI to. One of the quality and the requirement of AI is the requirement for data. You have heard about the big data era. So we are living in the big data era, which means that a lot of this advancement that's happening, they require that big amount of data. However, their data domain that they are called small data domain, where the data collection or labeling of them can be expensive, sometimes impossible, can be protected by very strong privacy or security laws. So in this small data domain, it's very hard to bring some of this advancement in. In the infant domain of a study, especially infant behavior study, it's very hard to collect data. You can assume, you can actually also imagine the problem comes from the security and also the privacy of the domain. So this was the first goal. I wanted to make it challenging and also provide this all of this new technology that is happening and all of this new big leap in the AI into this specific field. The second fold that I assume that also it was very important in making the decision of working on this specific area of work is around the same time that I was studying and I was started working on AI in a small data domain, I had my own son. Then I realized at that time how the technology in the field is actually behind the technology of monitoring adults. So they were nothing other than just a very simple motion trigger when he was waking up. I was missing some of the very interesting and early sign of his development because maybe I wasn't there. He was with the nanny or he was at the daycare. So I wanted to see that is it possible we have a recording system that can capture his development, capture snapshot of sometime for the first time that he sit up that I may have missed being with him at that specific time. So these together actually made this specific line of work now, which is now almost 3 years old. I strongly believe Northeastern provide two essential ingredients to do quality research. First is the university gives you the freedom to explore research area that they are high risk and high impact. So that's the very important part. So it allows us to satisfy our curiosity. It's not a specific thing that they tell you to go ahead and do. We actually can explore and find specific topics that they are interesting. They can be very high risk, but they have high potential for the society. The second part is support that we receive from Northeastern, the other faculties, the students, the administration. It provides a comfortable, I can call it comfortable because you need to have enough focus to do quality research, and if you are distracted for other reason and you want to go after this specific paperwork, that specific resources is going to be hard. But Northeastern provides this comfortable environment for you to focus on doing the research and not be distracted. And they are people that take care of the other stuff that then allow you to focus on the research. Working with CRI allowed my lab to make sure that we are protected in terms of the IP issues. This means that I'm not going to be worried about that some of these technologies, paper code that I put out there for the public use is taken by a specific company, and then they lock me out of the usage of that. So being able to very easily and very conveniently file for provisional patents, and after that patent has been very, very useful. Also, CRI has a lot of mentoring for business plan, workshops, different specific courses, and that has been very helpful for me to see that how I can bring this research that I have been doing, which I believe is very impactful for society, to bring that to the market. So that interaction has been very useful, and I hope to continue the interaction and make sure to use all of the resources that they provide. I am aiming to bring the first of its kind artificial intelligence driven and guided cloud-based baby monitoring system to the market. So for that, we have already made a prototype version of that. We can track infants' pose, posture, their action from the videos that are collected from the home cameras or a simple baby monitors. So the next step that we are very excited about is collaborating with the health scientists in the field and start to understand the relationship between this specific visual representation of the movement that we are extracting using our machine learning and computer vision models, and find that relationship with the specific neurodevelopmental disorders. And the one that has been the focus of my National Science Foundation Career Award is autism spectrum disorder. So I'm hoping in the next 5 years we are able to find some early visual representation of motor function and find a relationship between that and autism spectrum disorder. This is actually one of the main goal, and I hope that with the help of myself, my postdoc, my graduate students, undergrad, and the collaborators, and the help of university, we can solve this very important problem.